Welcome to The Snack, a lighter serving of Girls Gotta Eat.
This is a Dear Media production.
Enjoy.
Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
What's been up?
I've seen you a lot.
Oh,
We took a long break when I was sick.
from
And
seeing
then we
each other.
went straight on a vacation together.
Well, I have not traveled with you in a really long time, and I don't like it.
That was...
Since December.
that was my first flight of the year. I'm going to talk about it on Monday's episode.
Okay.
We're going to keep the snack to the snack, but I have some things to say.
About traveling with me?
We'll just...
About your first flight.
My first flight.
Okay.
My first flight of 2025.
Ashley learned something
So
new about
tune
me.
in Monday.
Okay. Ashley.
Hot teaser alert. Hear about an airplane.
Oh, Monday, actually, our giveaway for Vibes Only will close. So just want to mention this again. We have a company, a sexual wellness company called Vibes Only. We're doing a great giveaway for you guys. The Poppy Palm Vibrator. It's my favorite solo toy, partner toy, travel toy, along with our juiced up lube. We're doing a giveaway of those two things for 3 people. All you have to do is leave a review in the app store of our app, the Vibes Only app, and then email us the review at hello@vibesonly.com, the review. And we'll close the giveaway on Monday.
Yeah, and this is on our Instagram, Vibes Only. You can check it out. The rules are there if you miss them. And yeah, win something.
Get yourself juiced up.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll thank our partners. We'll jump right in. Thanks to Belly Welly. Get 20% off at bellywelly.com with code GGE20.
And thank you to Brooklinen. Get 15% off your first order at brooklinen.com.
Okay, you want to kick it off with the report?
We have a closing report. All the stores that are closing. All I'm hearing in my head as we're saying this is closing time. All these stores are closing.
I know what song you're saying.
Yeah, of course.
Sometimes I don't know what you're doing.
That's like every bar plays that. Like when the lights come on and closing time comes on, you're like, oh, that's what you look like?
No, we got kicked out of this bar at 11 p.m. on Friday night in Austin. I was like, this is too early for this to be happening.
Closing time.
We've been seeing this all over. Tons of stores going out of business, big chains. And Newsweek did an article this week just about the amount of closing. So basically, Newsweek is saying 2024, approximately almost 7,400 retail stores closed in the U.S. and it's projecting that in 2025, it will double to 15,000. So a lot of stores are just moving to an online model only.
And restaurants.
And, well, they're not going to move online.
Sorry, I'm on a delay. By the way, I'm still recovering. But we're going to talk about some restaurants. Remember that guy that I sort of dated and he was going to be an online trainer? Which that can be a thing, but in the moment it was just very funny to think about hey, I got to go online.
He was really ahead of his time because I mean, we knew a lot of people, our friends Bobby and Izzy, that started an online training business during COVID. But this guy was like, I'm not going on site. And I don't know what was keeping him so busy. He wasn't successful in other areas of his life.
So the restaurants are going online. No, this is sad. I mean, we're going to keep it light. It's the snack. But retail is, I don't want to say retail is over, but some people would say that. I mean, I have a friend who has a small business that she posted something online of we're really struggling. Everybody is struggling. And obviously hits different small businesses that can't survive at all in our current climate and for the past few years or however long that it's been. But even the big stores. But some of these feel oh, I didn't know they were still around.
I didn't even know.
I did not know Joann Fabrics was still kicking like that.
Some of these really hurt. Joann Fabrics, I used to go to a lot growing up. We knitted and sewed a lot at the house. And
okay, Little House on the Prairie. We knitted and sewed a lot.
I did.
Who did?
Me.
And who?
My mom.
You and your mom sat
My
down
mom's
and
not
knitted?
together. We didn't do stuff together. But I took sewing all 4 years of high school. I was a big ass sewer. I learned to knit. I loved to knit. I was Joann a lot.
You were Craig Conover. You were the original Craig.
I was before Craig Conover. He reheated my nachos.
I bet you made a killer pillow.
That was actually the only thing I could make because you just sew in a square. Yeah. That really hurt. Party City really hurt.
Let's go through them. Yeah. So let's talk about them.
And of course, we want to say that. These big corporations, it's easy to write it off as they have enough money, who cares? But it's the people who work there that are so affected, and I hate to see it. And really, loss of income and jobs is so sad.
I mean, people who work in retail or restaurants at whatever phase in life, obviously you have young people that work there and you have people that work there their whole lives. And it's not going to be so easy to just get another job like that because all these places are closing. You can't just like go to the other fabric store down the street. That's closed too.
Michael's.
You can't just go from Red Lobster to Olive Garden. You know, like it's not going to be so easy.
Yeah.
So I feel bad.
Yeah, I do too.
So there's the Newsweek article, a list of stores closing after being taken over by private equity. And the list, the main ones are Joann Fabrics, the 99-cent store, Party City. Party City really hurt. But we knew about that before. And then I knew it was closing. And then I went into a Party City to get some decor for New Year's, the New Year's show that I hosted, and like everything was on sale. I was like, this is just sad, but I got a lot. Big Lots.
Which I actually did not even know that still existed.
And then Red Lobster.
I know, Red Lobster hurts.
It
Those
really,
Cheddar Bay biscuits.
Red Lobster, like when my high school boyfriend, when he took me to Red Lobster, I was like, how rich is he?
No, we never got to go to Red Lobster. Olive Garden for prom and Red Lobster on like really, really nice occasions. I don't even think I made it through the doors of Red Lobster until I was at least in high school.
The way you felt walking into a Red Lobster, like am I royalty?
No, seriously.
Because we were so like TGI Fridays and Applebee's.
Us too.
Olive Garden, we would go as a family. It didn't have to be a super special occasion, but not a lot we wouldn't go. But like Red Lobster was next tier up.
I mean,
Lobster?
I was sold this story that like no one can afford seafood. I told you we'd get like shrimp cocktail rings, and my parents would make me feel like if I ate more than 3, that like we could never afford to eat again.
Yeah.
And Red Lobster, same thing. I was just like, who can afford lobster?
I know.
Who are they?
We were gonna like reminisce on some stories. So this one time we went to Red Lobster as a family. I don't know what the special occasion was, and it sat on Route 13 in Dover, Delaware. And one time we went to Red Lobster as a family, and Matt kind of tripped. He was always goofing off and being funny. Like he was very like physical comedy. So he tripped and kind of rolled down the hill towards the highway. It wasn't like close enough. It wasn't like close enough that he was going to roll into the highway, but there was like sort of a hill, and then there was a high. So
he was doing physical comedy.
I think the first time he did it, he was like joking around, and I was like, oh, he just is not funny. He thinks he's so funny. He's not funny. Like I hated it. Now I think he's obviously so funny, and it was this like funny thing. The whole family got a kick out of it. Whatever. I laughed a little bit, and then we went to Red Lobster. I don't know, months later, a year later, whenever, and he tried to replicate it. And he sliced his leg open and had to go to the hospital. I was like, that's what you get for trying to think you're the comedian in the family. He tried to replicate it. He's blood's
Is he in the restaurant?
Blood is everywhere.
In the restaurant?
Not leaving the restaurant.
Like in the
Thank God
parking
we'd
lot.
already eaten.
In the parking lot?
Thank God I'd already have my 12 Cheddar Bay biscuits.
Because my brother stood up at Bravo Italian Eatery. Did you have Bravo growing up?
No.
Bravo looks sort of like the Cheesecake Factory. It's a chain.
Was it more elevated, like a macaroni grill?
It was very elevated.
Okay.
Yes, like the macaroni grill. And my brother started taking these like supplements he brought on the black market to like look more jacked. And
that's scary.
My dad's yelling at him. It's Father's Day. My dad's yelling at him on the way to the restaurant, like don't ever fucking buy these again. Don't take these, whatever. My brother's trying to be like a juiced up meathead in high school, whatever. So we go to Bravo, and my brother is in the middle of a sentence. This is Father's Day. It is packed to the walls. We have all this food on the table, and my brother stands up and he's like, I don't feel so. And in the middle of the sentence, like Exorcist style projectile vomits all over the table.
All over the table?
It was in all the cups. It was in the bread plates. It was in all the soup and the food. It was crazy.
No, you're out of this family.
And then I was like, we have to leave. We have to leave right this second. And my dad's like, we're not leaving. It's Father's Day and we're going to eat. And he calls the staff over and he's like, can you guys clean this up? And can we move to another table? And we got up and moved to another table in the middle of the restaurant.
Your brother's in a coma. Your dad's like, take him to the ER. It's Father's Day. I don't care. Get him out of here. He's ruining my special day.
And my brother, he had stood up and he was in the middle of a sentence and puked a little bit. And then he was like, I'm okay. And then he puked again.
No, that's like out of a movie shit.
It was crazy. The way my dad was so adamant that we stay in that restaurant, like we weren't in the middle of a strip mall with 100 other restaurants.
Yeah. You will clean this puke up and we're staying.
My dad was like, we are staying. And I was like, you better tip these people $1,000 each. So that's my chain restaurant story. And then Forever 21 is set to close hundreds of stores as well. Yeah. And I don't know that you have as much of like an internal touch point to Forever 21 from growing up as I do, because like the Union Square Forever 21 was open 24 hours in New York City.
Oh, yes. Well, that's not growing up. That's you as an adult.
In my 20s, though, I would
Okay.
go.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
so,
yeah.
like, I would go buy going out tops at that Forever 21 like 3 days a week.
It makes me sad to hear you say that. I mean, that's such a memory. It's so nostalgic.
So important to me. And then sometimes you would like go out with your girlfriends and like not look cute. And then like a guy would text you to like go over to their place and you would like stop at Forever 21
Just to get a
for
going
like
out top.
getting dick top at like 11 o'clock at night.
That is so funny. What a party. Those days, just being at Forever 21 at 3 a.m.
It was amazing.
I got a booty call.
Who even thought to do that? Who was like, people are going to be going out tops at 3 a.m. Let's stay open 24 hours.
That really is so nuts. I mean, yeah, I obviously was a fan of Forever 21, but I didn't. It's all like depends on what you had in your area, what you had in your mall growing up. I mean, number one for me was Express, and Express is still barely around. Like they closed obviously a ton of stores, and they have online only. But that was like my heart and soul.
Those button-down blouses,
Just everything.
I couldn't get enough of those print blouses.
Oh my god!
And the editor pants,
the editor pants,
and the tanks with the built-in bras.
100%. And then lastly is Hooters. So Hooters, this has been talked about for a couple weeks. They declared bankruptcy, or they're talking about bankruptcy. They're closing a bunch of locations. It's not completely shuttered. And there's just been some funny articles about it, like Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, these basketball players react. It says the article says they react to Hooters facing potential bankruptcy. Please don't go. They love it. Did you have a lot of Hooters memories? Like, did people want you to work there because you're big tits? Like, were people like, you should work at Hooters? Like, did you get that a lot?
Primarily suggested that I work at Hooters.
100%.
And
I knew
I
that.
had nothing against it. Maybe we just didn't have one in like Bloomington, Indiana in college. And
Seems like they would.
I did Cheesecake Factory instead.
Right. Do you think there's a pipeline from girls who worked at Hooters and they have OnlyFans now?
They should.
Like, that's the direct pipeline.
OnlyFans actually advertises in the lobby.
Them.
Yeah.
So Hooters, like we had one in Delaware. It wasn't like right in the town, but like I remember one of our guy friends' 18th birthday. We all went there. You know, they like banging wings, whatever. But in my 20s, I had heard that you go to Hooters and they have the special pantyhose in the bathroom, like in a vending machine in like the handicap stall. And this was like where we had a lot of pantyhose options, like the really smooth, like you wear them now where they make your legs look really tan. Mm-hmm. They like sucked you in, make your legs look really tan. They were great for like Halloween costumes. Like I was like Beyonce one year for like single ladies, like I wore the full leotard, like my legs were just out. So I was like, what pantyhose am I going to wear? And someone said like, you got to go to Hooters and get the Hooters girls wear the pantyhose.
Yeah. They're like it's a thicker, shinier.
Yes,
they make your
like
legs
shiny.
look very smooth. I wear them on stage.
Yes, you wear them on stage. But like back then it was like, how do you even get those Hooters legs? So I would go to the Hooters in downtown Atlanta and hit that handicap stall, put a couple like quarters in, or I don't even remember, cash, and get the Hooters pantyhose. It was like a whole thing.
What a hack.
I know. I vlogged it one time. So anyway, I'm sure obviously they have other places to purchase those these days, but that was my Hooters.
Well, RIP to all these places. We will miss you. All right. Fyre Festival 2. Up next. So, from People Magazine, Fyre Festival 2, quote unquote, does not exist, according to Isla Majora's tourism board. According to the tourism board, does not exist. Organizers still claim that it is real.
So, I got a DM the day after we talked about Fyre 2 a couple weeks ago, and I was trying to find it to read it word for word, but a follower of mine messaged and was like, I live on Isla Mujeres, and the town is saying like, we're not doing this here. So I had like this early tip and I was like, oh, that's so interesting. And then the articles started to come out, but I think this is so crazy. Like, can you imagine if you and I were like, guys, we're doing a show, Madison Square Garden in June. And then Madison Square Garden's like, that's not true. Like the city of New York has to be like, they're not coming here.
Made a statement. And this is like very official. It's coming from the Director General of Economic Development. He said, we have no knowledge of this event, no contact with any person or company about this. For us, this is an event that does not exist. I mean, they're like, make no mistake about it.
Did they sell tickets to this?
Yes, the tickets went on sale. They've sold tickets to this.
This is crazy to me. Billy McFarland is out of his mind.
According to the website, Fyre Festival 2 is going to be held May 30th to June 2nd. So it is coming up.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Tickets start at $1,400.
People have spent money on this.
Yes.
For sure.
According to...
And the town is saying it's not happening.
Yes. Isn't that so crazy?
I find it so crazy. It's like I feel like I'm missing something. It's so crazy. I know,
me too. I thought it was like a joke, or they had like, when I first saw it, I was like, is this some just like random person on the island? No, it's like the head of the tourism board is like, we don't know
We're
anything
not doing
about
that
this.
here.
Nope. They're just saying it's not happening.
Okay.
And Billy McFarland has already been to prison for wire fraud and making this all up the first time. So I don't really know why he thinks he would be able to get away with this. Like,
I know.
That's why I find it so confusing. Like, how is he can't get away with it? It's not even like a maybe I'll get away with it kind of thing. So it's very strange to me to release statements and put this on sale and the tourism board saying this isn't happening. How is that possible?
Well, if you guys were planning on going there, I have a great rec. It's called Mango Cafe. It is truly one of the best meals I've ever had in my life. It's like this famous place. Well, if you booked your travel already to East Limon Harris, hit up Mango Cafe. It's honestly like one of the best places I've ever been.
All right. Well, if you guys were dumb enough to buy these tickets to this festival,
or if you're just going, that's where Lindsay and Buck got their little dog.
Oh, wait, really?
They like got a dog from there.
If you want a dog shop,
yeah,
go to
to Mango. Yeah, you will not be going to Fyre 2.
Probably not. I've seen this like
not.
in
You
2
still have
months.
hope?
Yeah. It seems like in 6 weeks we're not going to build a festival. It's crazy.
Okay, next topic.
So this story really struck me. I really love it. It's about Millie Bobby Brown. She's been in the news so much recently. The title of this article is Millie Bobby Brown is calling out disturbing criticism of her appearance. So what had happened was, obviously we're in award season. She's on the red carpet a lot. She has done this really platinum long hair blonde look, and people have had stuff to say about it, talking about her appearance, talking about how she looks old. She doesn't look like herself. Millie Bobby Brown's 21. Even if it doesn't matter what age she is, it's not nice to call somebody that in a derogatory way. And you don't really see a lot of celebrities come out and hit back against the press. Usually it's just like, keep my head down, ignore it, it will go away.
Yeah, and you got to wonder, obviously she's young, you know, you have to wonder what people's strategy is. Some people are like, don't give it your energy, don't take the bait. You know, like people certainly know, press and otherwise, paparazzi, like who will take the bait and who won't. And I don't know. I can't even decide how I feel about it. You should be able to say this. You should be able to make this statement. I love her. I love what she did.
So she posted like a long form reel on Instagram, and I'll pull a quote from it. She said, "I want to take a moment to address something that I think is bigger than me, something that affects every young woman who grows up with public scrutiny. I started in this industry when I was 10. I grew up in front of the world, and for some reason, people can't seem to let me grow up. Instead, they act like I'm supposed to stay frozen in time, like I should still look the way I did on Stranger Things, and because I don't, I'm now a target." So she said, let's talk about the articles, the headlines, and the people who were so desperate to tear down young women. And she names
them all. Yeah.
And she quotes them. She calls out women specifically. She says, you know, I hate that men are doing this, but why are women taking this and then giving light to it? She uses their names, and I think it's really powerful, and I think she's so young, and this is so brave to do. For younger generations to say, like, don't talk about me like this. And I think everybody that's brave enough to do this helps the next generation, because you and I grew up with Jessica Simpson and Britney Spears on television being asked by grown adults about their breasts and their virginities and their sex lives.
Yeah.
And it's so insane today, but it's because people spoke out about it over these years that now is a disgusting, horrible thing to do.
No, but like this is crazy to me. Like, are these writers proud of this? Like, how can you write these headlines or write these articles? This 21-year-old is aging poorly. What are you thinking? Like, are you proud of this, or do you get the ick from yourself? Like, this is not the 90s. I really find it so crazy that people are like, yep, that's what I do for a living, and I sleep at night.
Yep.
It's just tear down people and the way that they look. And I find it really, really wild that we're still here in 2025. Like, it's really giving like 90s, early 2000s.
I think that people that have dedicated their lives to just tearing down other people publicly, like, there's something wrong with you. And I know that everybody needs a job and needs to pay the bills, but there's got to be another way.
Yeah. And
to make money.
And I always like to recognize the period of time that we're in. Like, if you did that in the 90s, that's understandable.
That's what I'm saying.
It was just like normal, and then you're kind of supposed to evolve past it and be like, I mean, I used to be a blogger. I've written stuff I would never write today. Like, that I am like, oh my God, that was like, I can't even believe that was me. You know, we all evolve, we all grow. That's like the beautiful part of like being a human and progressing and all that stuff. So, but you're doing it today. Like, we know better today. You should.
You should.
So I like that she did that. I mean, I don't know. I have mixed feelings on her. But one thing I will say, and when I see her in interviews and whatnot, but one thing I will say is she just does not hold back. She's a strong personality. She's been famous since she was a kid. Also, when I say things like, I don't know how I feel about her, like I always give any celebrity grace that was famous as a kid. She's still a kid. But, I don't know. That's a crazy way to grow up.
Yeah, I can't imagine it. And I'm also it makes me even more proud of her for doing this because she could very easily just be like, I've been a part of the Hollywood machine for so long. It's easy enough for me to just put my head down and keep going.
It comes with the territory.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think that you see this more and more. I mean, Chappell Roan this summer was saying, like, I don't want to be approached like this by fans. I don't want to be, like, touched. I don't want people to feel like they're allowed to just do that to me. And it was shocking. But at the same time, I think this is progress and change and women drawing boundaries about how you're allowed to approach them and speak about them. I love it.
And calling writers out by name, calling these people out by name, whatever, women, men, whoever they are. Like, maybe they'll hesitate the next time they try to write a piece like that. Or maybe if they're being forced to write pieces like that, they'll quit their jobs or go work for another outlet. Like, I really like that. I like the holding the actual writers, calling them up by name, holding them accountable to this kind of thing.
It was my favorite thing that she did.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, that was the most important thing she did, where she didn't just like say what the headlines were. She was like, and I'm going to name them. If you want to write this about me publicly, like, that's why I don't feel bad about dragging people that like publicly write comments on our Instagram. Not that it almost ever happens, but like, if you're going to do that, why should I not drag you publicly?
Right, exactly. You're going to say this with your whole chest. Okay, since we're kind of talking about clapbacks, one that I didn't know if you saw this, but Rihanna posted on International Women's Day, and it was photos of her after she had her babies, and she was just like, this is, my greatest accomplishments is becoming a mother. And someone wrote something like, I hate their names, or something like, I hate her kids' names. Did you see this?
No.
Just basically was like, I hate their names. And Rihanna wrote back, okay, Tatiana. Did you not see that? No. I died. Okay, Tatiana. Cool name. Which, whatever you think about that name, but like, when she gets in there and claps back, she clapped back a lot of people around the election, how she was saying she wishes she could vote, and people had stuff to say, and she was clapping back. Like, when she gets in those comments, I'm like, oh, we are so back.
That was the whole beginning of comments by celebs, was this Instagram account, and they would like basically just like look through the internet for like comments that celebrities would leave on like everyday posts. And I talked to them this morning. We're working on having them on the show, so I'm excited. Yeah, I love it. Like, you'll see like the Kardashians once in a blue moon, especially Kourtney will get on people's stuff and say something. I think it's so funny.
It's just, Rihanna never misses. It's always just like short, cuts deep. Okay, Tatiana. Tatiana is going to hate her name till forever.
I want to meme it. Like, every time somebody says anything, it's like,
okay, Tatiana.
It's like, damn, Gina.
Damn, Gina. That's a deep cut. Damn, Daniel.
Damn. Tessa, do you know Damn Gina? There's no way.
It's
from Martin from when I was a kid.
I know. That is a really deep cut.
Damn Gina is funny.
What was Damn Daniel?
What's that?
Back at it again with the white vans.
Tessa nailed it. Damn, Daniel. Back at it again with the white vans. Yes.
That's your generation's Damn Gina.
Okay, let's just take a quick break, and then we will get back into it. I am just telling you guys about Brooklyn, and oh my God, Raina, I slept so well last night. Like, what's been happening to me lately is which is rare. I don't know if you guys feel this way, where you fall asleep and you don't wake up till you get up.
That's how I sleep in my Brooklyn. It's my favorite.
No tossing, no turning.
Just the best.
Like, when you wake up at whatever you wake up, like 8 a.m. this morning, and I was like, oh my God, I haven't been up since I went to sleep.
Welcome to my life.
This is crazy. No, I've been loving my Brooklyn so much. So I have the sheets, obviously the pillowcases, and I have a duvet cover that's like so soft and silky. I mean, we love everything that they do. They have different materials. So the Luxe Sateen, that's what I was sleeping on last night, but they have a classic percale, which I have those as well. That's what I use in the summertime. There's a wash linen, organic cotton, heathered cashmere, and just, I love it so much. I mean, we have always like been so big on our bedding and what you have on your body. If you sleep naked, it's even on your body even more. And so this just feels so great, and I'm obsessed with it. I love the packaging. It's so great to gift to yourself or someone else. And we just love the way it fits into our home and our life. They obviously hold up. They're such high quality, and you can pick different colors. Raina's been doing some more colored sheets lately. I've been too. I've been getting away from white, and I just will do like a more beige color or a cream. The duvet cover I'm using right now is cream, and then the sheets are a beige color, so I'm really into that. Brooklyn's super high quality products have been tested and awarded by experts, including Good Housekeeping, GQ, Wirecutter, and more. 200,000 plus 5-star reviews, millions of happy customers, and then they have these great bundles too. So you can customize a bundle. It makes it easy to refresh your bed and bathroom, putting everything you need in one place. We didn't mention this before, but they obviously have bedding, but they have stuff for bath too. There's towels that are wonderful, robes, all kinds of stuff. So you guys can check that out. You can shop award winners and fan faves in store or online at brooklinen.com. That's BROOKLINEN.com. Get 15% off your first order today.
Okay, and Girls Gotta Eat is brought to you by Belly Welly. You've probably seen Belly Welly powders viral on TikTok. They are literally always sold out. Belly Welly is a doctor-formulated gut health powder. It's the perfect 3-in-1 mix to de-bloat with fiber and probiotics, glow with collagen, and hydrate with electrolytes. So since they've been a partner, I've been drinking it in the mornings with a glass of water, and I'm going to use our code to just buy more because I really like it. Also, the packaging is so cute, and like, it's just important to me to like not feel bloated, to like eat comfortably throughout the day. And listen, I love pooping. Pooping is great. Belly Welly is a doctor formulated and science backed. It took them 2 years to create this powder, and I love it because unlike others, it actually works. Everything is a third-party tested and made with premium ingredients. So triple threat for bloating, skin, and hydration, so you don't have to figure out how to kind of fit everything in. You can multitask and habit stack all in one powder, which we love. Easy to throw in your Stanley. They have tons of flavors, so you could do watermelon. The peach mango is my favorite. They have strawberry lemonade, and they aren't chock full of sugar, which is fantastic. And fiber is the base of Belly Welly powder, so really can't get enough fiber in my life.
Most people don't get enough.
No, and I'm always looking for new ways to do it. Tastes great, easy to incorporate into your life. I'm obsessed with the Belly Welly powders. Like I said, they tend to sell out and never give discounts. So go to bellywelly.com and use our exclusive code GGE20 at checkout for 20% off your order. That's BELLIWELLI.com and use code GGE20 for 20% off your entire order.
I just got an email from someone named Tatiana.
No, you did not. What's it about?
It's like a pitch for something. Some like caffeinated gum. What if I just wrote back, okay, Tatiana? See if she would get it.
I hope that all day she's been getting that. I hope she's having a great day, but yeah. I hope that people have been saying that to her.
No, it's just one of those things of like, it sucks when your name turns into a thing. I don't think that this is going to take off the way Karen did, but like brutal.
It won't take off like that, but that's crazy.
I'm just saying, yeah, like I feel bad for good Karens. Okay, well, we want to talk about some shows, all kinds of stuff, but like what we've been watching, we're going to deep dive on a couple things. Of course, we're going to hit Love is Blind, but should we kick it off with Meghan Markle? With love, Meghan.
With love, Meghan. I would say that it has divided the internet, but it really kind of hasn't. It has been a really polarizing show.
Okay.
So Meghan Markle released her show on Netflix. It's supposed to be like an at-home with Meghan. She has friends over. She cooks for people, and she shows you how to do stuff like arrange flowers and shit like that. Ashley and I just don't like. It's well-intentioned, right? Like the show at its core is well-intentioned. I think that it's modeled after the Ina Gartens and Martha Stewarts of their time. And at a time where those shows really felt authentic. Also, those women were housewives. Those women cooked in their homes, filmed in their homes. That really was their whole lives. There's been a lot of pushback about the unrelatability of this show. I mean, New York Magazine, the article, Meghan Markle pioneers new frontiers on unrelatability. And the article is scathing. And I won't give light to all the terrible things that they wrote because I don't need to. Meghan Markle still seems like a nice person. And
yeah. I mean, I watched one episode and then I've seen plenty of clips. I mean, we were joking on Monday's episode, this clip with Mindy Kaling where Mindy Kaling calls her Meghan Markle and she's like, you know, I'm Sussex now. And it's like cringeworthy. But, you know, we all have cringeworthy moments. Like, I guess my point is I can't really give a thorough review. But people just are chomping at the bit to hate her. Like, I've seen critiques where I'm like, that's a reach. Just say you hate her.
Yes.
You know, like, I don't think she can win. You know, I think that if the recipes are complicated with hard to source ingredients, then she's unapproachable and unrelatable. If they're too simple, then it's basic and boring. And why did the show get made? So I want to start by saying, like, people are going to hate her. I think they should ask themselves why to start. And if it's just that you think she's annoying or you think she's not authentic, then that's fine. But like, I don't know. I'm like, do I like the show? I don't know. I mean, is it boring? Yeah. I don't even know what to say about it, but I'm just like, let Meghan have her little show. I don't know. Like, people clearly want to watch her do stuff. So hasn't it been greenlit for a second season? Like, I don't know. I think people want to watch her do stuff. I think this is what she wants to do. One of my biggest frustrations with people's critiques of Meghan Markle is, oh, she just wants to be famous and she just wants to be in the spotlight. She was an actress. People, they didn't want to be in the royal family, which who would? Seems like a nightmare. But I hate when people act like she was this under the radar nobody, and now she wants to be on TV. She's always wanted to be on TV. She was an actress.
Right.
So that's my thing. I'm not like a fan. I don't know. I see the lack of authenticity that people don't like. I certainly find her cringe sometimes. I don't know her personally. I think she's so beautiful. It's like hard to look at. I think she's one of the most beautiful women alive. I don't fault her for not wanting to be in that family. I don't know. I just think, you know how I feel. Even with Blake Lively, I always have a problem when people seem so excited to tear down a woman. Regardless of what they've done, where you can tell it's just like, oh my God, I've been dying to do this. And that's the energy I don't love.
So, I mean, I've heard this said over and over, she can't win for losing. There's nothing she could have done, like you said, that would have satisfied people. To me, it reads really unauthentic. There's a couple of categories of shows. I think that it's a crisis of not knowing what the show is. So there's just shows where celebrities do stuff and you watch them do stuff. So Paris Hilton had a cooking show. And it's not because Paris Hilton is like a great chef. It's because people want to watch celebrities do stuff. And then there are shows like Ina Garten and Martha Stewart that really are like these rich housewives. Martha Stewart had her own career as well, but they're actually teaching you like hosting tips and tricks, and that felt like that was their corner of the world. This is a production issue. This is not like a Meghan Markle issue. I think she wasn't done any favors in terms of like how this was shot, scripted. Like it's like this At Home with Meghan show, but it's shot at a $5 million home down the street from her $20 million home, and they take her to this flower shop, and she like talks to the guy. She's like, "Hey, Jose, how's it going?" And it feels really like forced and pretentious.
Totally.
And I don't know that that's really her fault, because I think that she's probably just like, well, "What do you want from me? I'm not going to shoot a show in my house. That's ridiculous. I'm not taking you inside of my home." And, no, probably she does not go down to the flower shop. But if she's like, well, I'm good at arranging flowers, I have to set up something to shoot the flowers. Like, I don't think she can win, but the show feels really inauthentic. And that type of show it's gone. People don't care about that stuff anymore.
Yeah. So I read this article. This was actually in USA Today. The headline is Duchess Meghan, Authenticity and Why She Just Can't Win with Her New Netflix Show. And I liked this quote. It says, "With love, Meghan suffers from the same image problem that's plagued Meghan and her husband, Prince Harry, since they stepped down as senior royals in 2020, which is that they want to come off as authentic without actually letting their guard down," which...
Yes.
Which understandably so, that they wouldn't want to let their guard down. It says, for instance, the Duchess acts as hostess to the couple's famous friends, yet the show isn't even filmed at her Southern California home. It's filmed at a nearby rental property. To your point, yeah, like she doesn't want him in her home, but like this is still a problem. Yes. Like this is still why people don't like it. It says she doesn't help herself. The fact that she's shooting an at-home, entertaining lifestyle cooking show in a kitchen that isn't her kitchen is a problem. The fact that they rented basically a set to do a show that's all about the authentic you is a problem, particularly if the visual is meant to give you at her home. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's just like I'm talking about this with like kind of a real lack of opinion. It's just kind of like I see all sides of it. I don't like how much people like to hate, but I understand where it comes from. And then at the end of the article, it just kind of says the same thing that I said. Like, do ask yourself why you hate her so much and what it's rooted in. And then I saw another article. This was New York Post, which they love to drag anybody, and it said how much the crew loved working with her. And they interviewed a bunch of people, and they said like I expected to kind of come on the show and feel invisible, and I didn't, and she really drew us in, and so. You've heard people say she's what someone called her like a dictator in heels before, but then this was years ago. I mean, whatever. Everyone's going to criticize any sort of powerful woman always, but people said they liked working with her. I mean, who's to say?
I think people are just like, don't sell me this shit.
Yeah.
Like, I think people are like this whole like at home with Meghan. It's not her home. This is not really like that authentic. She's a royal. Let's let people know that she's actually a royal. But like, then you could make a show about how she has all this staff doing all this stuff for her, and people would be like, who's watching this? That I would watch.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So like, what show do you want to watch? Like, clearly Meghan was like, I'm going to have a show. Netflix is like, you're going to have a show. She's like, we're going to do a show. I mean, I'd like to see Prince Harry, obviously.
H.
Yeah. H.
Every time she calls him H, I hate. But I've seen her do this for years.
She is pick me. That's just, it is what it is. That's a fact.
Some names can't be shortened to a letter. And this used to bother me about Gossip Girl because like Blair used to call Nate N. N cannot be shortened. Like R would be really weird.
Yeah.
Like M, I could do M because that actually kind of sounds like a name.
M, yeah. H. You can start calling me H.
T, I could do T.
T. Tatiana. Okay, Tatiana. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just,
I do think at its core, it's pretty harmless and it's just a cooking show. And I mean, people are talking about her.
Yeah.
And it's been renewed for a second season. And
like Meghan Markle, Meghan Sussex, sorry guys. She's going to be in the news. She was an actress. She married into this family. They left the family. Like, she's got a wild story.
Yes.
People want to see her do something. Let her have her little show. Let Netflix decide if this is a show that is worthwhile on their network. I don't know.
I have not had this much fun just breaking down a show in
Yeah.
so long though. Like I said to you, it's like almost like, and just like that, I hated it so much. Like, thank God it's renewed for another season.
Yes.
I love the memes. It's light. It's harmless. And I understand like why this got made and how this got made, juxtaposed to the other reality show that recently came out, The Baldwins, which is about Alec Baldwin and Hilaria and their 7 kids, 8 pets.
Hilaria.
The article in Vulture also stating the Baldwins is grimmer than you imagined. And this is another show that has a real crisis of like, what is this? Because you hear that there's this couple, they have 500 kids and pets, and it's like the chaos of like John and Kate plus 8. And you're like, well, is that the route they're going to take? That it's just like crazy all the time. But like, then you have this couple that like seems to have some real contempt for each other. And it's sort of about that too. And I mean, she's talking about their life with that accent. Maybe it's fake, maybe it's not.
Oh my God.
Put on, and he says to her, slower, slower. You're speaking English with a Spanish cadence, which is always perilous for me. And he sounds so annoyed with her.
Ugh.
And on top of that, this is a show about manslaughter. I mean, he murdered a woman by accident.
Yeah.
But they layer in stuff about the trial as well. And so you're like, why did we make this show?
Right. Like, was it supposed to be like a redemption?
I think it was supposed to be a redemption arc and a look behind the curtain. But like, they seem pretty contentious with each other, as would any couple that has 15 mouths to feed. That one of them is on trial for manslaughter for a very serious case. Like, I don't know why at this point in time you chose to put your life on television.
Do you think it's just a cash grab?
Probably, but
Like it's just, I mean, does any Baldwin ever really need money? I don't know. Who knows what their situation is? But like, when I see something like that where you're like, how did this get made? It's like someone needed money. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, people are going to watch it and it's crazy to watch. It's just, this is not a time in my marriage I would choose to put on television.
Right.
And
Yeah, let's deal with this privately.
it's not like a fun watch because like it's a very serious trial that he's going through for killing somebody. So anyways, I gave it a spin. It's not like fun and giggles for me. So I don't know that I'll continue watching it.
I might check it out just to see.
Yeah, I would like you to just listen. You know what I really like is just being part of pop culture moments, and I like knowing what's going on.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's briefly recap the Love is Blind reunion and also the weddings. I mean, the end of the show, essentially. So they had the wedding episode. Of the 4 couples, Daniel and Taylor ended up getting married, and the other 3 couples, all the women decided not to. 2 of the women for political reasons.
I love to see it.
I mean, the theme was just like these women being like, you're not good enough for me. You're not a match. And I think this is the problem overall with reality TV. These men are not up to par. Is it a red flag that a man wants to go on a reality show in the first place? Yeah, kind of. To me, doesn't have to be. That's just my personal opinion. I don't feel like that about women. I think these women are like smart and intelligent and well-spoken and normal and well-adjusted. And they really don't seem to be finding men across the board on a lot of shows that are on their level.
I agree with you. And I really loved the women on this season. I thought that they like stood on business and really stood up for what they what their beliefs were while simultaneously not humiliating their partners. I mean, I think a lot of them really approached all these, like, we don't have the same values necessarily, with a lot of kindness and open-mindedness. And you had the women on the show being like,
people.
huh?
Minnesota people.
They were really nice and didn't like want to humiliate them. And I think repeatedly said, I didn't want to like put him on blast. And Joey and Monica, like, you don't find out until the reunion, they like never had a sexual relationship. And she was like, I was clearly in the friend zone the whole time, but like, she didn't make a whole thing about it. I thought that they just kind of like kept things really classy the whole season.
Yeah. I mean, but I'm not joking when I say that's like probably because of that's the vibe in that part of the country. You know what I mean? And it's not that they're like pushovers. It's just, yeah, they like want to keep it respectful, keep it classy, but they're also, like you said, like going to stand on business and, you know, make it clear like you had questionable values and you're not intelligent enough for me or curious enough for me or evolved enough for me. And so I really liked that overall theme. I mean, I just fell in love with Virginia.
Same.
She started the show just really sweet, kind of ditzy almost. And then she just, as we saw who she really was, I mean, she was just like an absolute like class act. I mean, I was so impressed with her and just the way she like articulated how she was feeling and about him and still was respectful towards him. And it was so measured. I mean, she brought the prenup into the mix. We haven't really seen that on this show.
I think she won the reunion. She wiped the floor with that man. And she did it with so much poise, grace. She was so measured. She also did it without really throwing him under the bus. I mean, she's just said, like, I need to be with somebody who cares about LGBTQ rights, the rights of women to do what they want with their bodies, people that care about other people's religions. She said it with so much grace. But also, like, you weren't left being like, I wonder what happened here. I mean, she just ate so hard.
Did, yeah.
She
No
looked
crumbs.
so beautiful. Every one of those women walked out onto the stage.
They always do.
Incredible. And the amount of poise on that stage from every woman just blew me away.
I totally agree. Sarah and Ben, I mean, we were talking about it. We thought it was a little strange that they dated post-show. We thought she was done with him. But apparently they tried to. And they shared a story of pretty much the demise of the relationship that I was like, what happened here? Like, I wish Sarah would have had receipts in her armpit like Madison did. But because she was like talking about them basically going to like move in together, essentially move to Nashville together in some capacity. And then he just didn't come. And he's like, I thought we broke up. Like, I was like, what happened? Did I miss something
I know. It was not explained. And to Nick and Vanessa, that's the only reason they're there, is to facilitate understanding this a little bit better.
I thought they did a pretty good job. I found them asking questions that I wanted to ask. Yeah. I thought they asked him. He was just like, I don't know. I thought that we were broken up. I mean, like, he just was like talking in circles.
I really wish I could have been a fly on the wall for that, because it's very confusing how two people have the most different experiences in that conversation.
What happened here?
One person thought they were moving in together, and the other was like, we broke up. What?
She's like, I thought you were on the way to Nashville. He's like, I stopped sharing location. So I thought that was crazy. I wrote another note. I love how Dave had the audacity to say that Lauren was the one that got away. And she was like, respectfully, you're lying.
I love that she said that. And he said a lot of stuff being like, after this, I realized what was happening. And I love how some people want to get on reality TV. And he's like blaming that other guy essentially for egging this on.
Yeah.
And I like how she was just like, no. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I think she just put him in his place while simultaneously also saying, I want to address what everybody is saying about him on the internet. Like, lay off him a little bit.
So I watched it with my fiance. Like, one of my greatest accomplishments in life is getting him like involved in Love is Blind. And so we've watched the whole season together, and I waited till I got home so we could watch this together. And he was like, why do these guys think they can get away with this stuff? Like, why do they think they can like say these things? I mean, even like Joey, like saying the thing about Madison wanting to get with him, and they're both like, that's not true. You know, like, he was just like, wait, why do they think they can get away with this? I'm like, why do guys lie or cheat in general? Like, they don't think about the consequences, or they think what I'll do later is deny it.
Yeah, I think that's the thought process. I think that, like, to Sparkle Eyes' point, it's a rational person would say, how do you think you're going to tell these lies and get away with it? But I think these guys are like, because I have before.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he's coming at it from a really incredible person with a good heart who's honest. And so he's like, what the fuck? Why you act like this? It's like, this is not just exclusive to these men on this show. This is how men always act. They think about what they want to accomplish in that moment, whether it's to, not all men, obviously, I'm going to marry one. Like, just, do I want to fuck this girl, or do I want to not upset her? Or do I, like, whatever they are trying to accomplish in that moment, they don't think 10 steps down the road like women do. And again, if they do have the foresight, they're thinking like, I'll clean it up when it happens. And these women are like, no, I'm going to hold your feet to the fire.
I just think traditionally celebrity males are the same. Like, they have not been held to the same standard.
Yeah.
And we talk about this all the time, like the Justin Timberlake example of how he was like caught cheating on Jessica Biel, and he publicly apologized, and people are like, king.
Yeah.
I think that we see this all the Matt James, we saw it with him. You know, he publicly broke up with her and post Rachel Kirkconnell, and it doesn't seem to me that his following is taking a hit. I look at his comments, they're all positive. He just took down the post that he had written about her, and he seems to just be like plugging along, business as usual. Like, people just don't want to rip men down the way they want to rip women down.
Yeah, I fucking hate it. But anyway, I just thought that was an interesting observation. And they did a lot on the show. They shot a music video. They had NFL players on Zoom. They were doing the most. But, you know, I enjoyed it. But they did do this countdown of 5 best Love is Blind moments over the whole series. And I agreed with 4 of their 5. But
Fine.
yeah, but we wanted to do our own.
So we wrote a list. We did not do top 5. We could not be held to that standard.
No way. Okay, so in no particular order, these are our top 15 moments in Love is Blind history.
I'm going to kick off with Jeremy and Sarah Ann on the jet skis, just riding off into the sunset in front of his former fiance.
Yes. Okay. Season 1, Giannina falling in her wedding dress, running away from the altar. She hit the ground hard.
I mean, I think about it daily. Zenob's cutie gate.
Zenab and Cole.
And
right?
blaming the producers, and they were like, bitch, we have receipts.
The cuties. I will never forget the cuties and the whole fat shaming of it all.
Cuties have never had a moment like this before.
Zenab and Cole. Okay. Tiffany falling asleep when Brett told her he loved her. Iconic.
Just out cold. Okay. Chelsea's Megan Fox comment. I mean, no one in Love is Blind history has gotten dragged that hard. And I will say, I see it. I've always seen it.
100%. Okay. Zach singing to Irina to propose.
Oh, you just never want
So
to
cringe.
see a man.
And I'm going to tag on to here. Zach and Irina not working out and him calling Bliss, and now they have a kid.
It is pretty. They were the first Love is Blind kid.
Oh, right.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Season 1, Jessica feeding wine to her dog. She couldn't do enough to get Mark to break up with her.
What was she just like? He loves wine.
Yes, she just was like pulling out all the stops to get him to break up with her. She also was like, you also can't see your family.
Yeah. Okay, Deepti's iconic speech at the altar.
Deepti chose Deepti.
When she was like, I choose me, and Shake, he was the worst. So we love that.
People have tried to recreate that moment, and they can't do
They
it.
can't. They'll never.
Carlton throwing his ring in the pool, season 1. Also, I mean, he is just yelling at Diamond. That's her name, right? And he takes that diamond and tosses it in the pool. Do you think every producer just dove right in after?
Did he really throw it in the pool?
He took it off and chucked it.
Okay.
It was,
he was crashing out. She was just like, fuck you. Didn't he say something about her hair? Like, he was like getting really mean.
He was getting really mean because he had admitted that he was bisexual, and she was just asking questions.
Yeah. Okay. Probably one of my number one Roman empires, it was when they tried to do a live finale. Netflix could not handle a live stream.
Have you ever been on so many group chats? All of your friends being like, can you guys download it? I just remember me, you, and like 4 other girls were like, I got it. Wait, no, I didn't. It started. No, it didn't.
Right. I was like, I'm on my laptop. I'm on my phone. I'm on my TV, like trying to get this to work. And then to tag onto that, Vanessa just being completely unhinged because she was live. She was not made to be live. She was not prepared to be live. That was insane.
Someone had to talk with her after that, and they were like,
I loved
get your
it.
Shit together.
I loved it. I miss it all the time. I wish she would go back to that.
I love it all the time. When somebody's like so messy, I'm like,
Yes.
this is terrible, and
So
thank God
messy.
for them. Jessica talking to Jimmy, her "you're gonna choke when you see what I look like" speech.
You're gonna need your EpiPen.
And she said it's in an interview after, she's like, I had no idea this was even going to be a thing. And
yeah,
I loved it. I loved the confidence.
this was their number one moment that they voted on by Love is Blind fans, that they said on the reunion was the number one. Okay, Izzy not having dishes. Izzy, and what was her name?
Chelsea.
Stacy.
Stacy. Stacy goes to his place. He has red Solo cups, not a dish to be found.
It was like, do you live here?
That was a whole thing. And he was just a broke bitch.
Well, there's a second part of this.
His lost and found drawer.
That was nuts. His whole apartment tour was nuts.
Yes, his apartment tour, his home tour.
You didn't need to show somebody that.
Yeah.
Okay. Steven, in the previous season, sexting during a sleep test.
Stephen and Monica. She was sexting what? Like crazy kinky stuff while he was supposed to be... Did we ever realize, was he really at the sleep test?
So she has said, I do actually think he was at the sleep test.
Okay.
I said, as someone who knows people that have gone to sleep tests, it doesn't sound possible to me, but she says he was at one. The other moment between the two of them that was really funny was him being like, I know you don't want something super nice. Like, what did she say? A Tory Burch bag? Kate Spade bag. And she was like, skirt, what? Broke ass bitch.
No, it was really snobby.
It was super snobby.
She's doubled down on it, even in a same snobby way.
It's one of these, it's an example of a time that somebody else is going to out terrible you. And so what you do is not going to like get a bunch of heat.
It just, Kate Spade gate. Yeah. Okay. And the number one, this is a sweet one, but this is still my number one moment in Love is Blind history, and it's Lauren and Cameron's proposal.
First proposal in the history of the show.
I didn't know that was happening.
I still remember you telling me about it.
You had fallen asleep.
Yes.
We were in Australia. Meryl and I stayed up to watch this. This was February 2020. And I was like, oh, what is this show? I knew some people on it from Atlanta. Obviously, the first season was filmed in Atlanta. I was like, I'll give this a spin. When he proposed through the wall, I'm like, what?
I still remember the next morning you were like, people are proposing on this show. Like someone got engaged last night.
No, I was like, and then I was like sobbing because I loved them. And I was like, so now what? And I was like, wait, Rainey, you're not going to believe this. So here's how they get to meet is they get engaged and then they get out of the pods. You were like, what are you saying?
The way you were like, someone proposed on this show. It's crazy. And it's really pretty amazing, I will say. So this is the 5-year anniversary of Love is Blind, 5-year anniversary of COVID. The 5-year anniversary of Love is Blind. And they did a whole roundup at the end of the finale of all these couples that are still married, that have had kids together now.
Yeah.
And I just found it really heartwarming and special.
Yes. So those are our moments. We know we forgot some. This is like our favorite show. And we just wanted to kind of talk about what else we've been watching really quickly. I mean, again, I was like, sick for a week and so watched a ton of TV. I love Apple Cider Vinegar. This is on Netflix. It's a dramatization based on a true story about this woman named Belle Gibson who was an Australian influencer. I mean, she became an influencer. She lied about having a brain tumor and just the other storylines surrounding it that were also loosely based on the truth in terms of like some women that had cancer. I mean, I was riveted.
And I watched a documentary about her that I thought actually left some stuff to be desired, I guess. So I loved Apple Cider Vinegar. Just like the power of influence and really making sure that like the people you're following are truthful. Mm-hmm. I thought it was great on Netflix. It's a great watch. And you told me about Running Point, which is the Kate Hudson show. It's basically her family owns the Lakers. They call them the Waves. But it's funny, it's sharp, and it's about her and her siblings running this. And it's almost like a comedy version of Succession.
I love it so much. And I forgot how funny Kate Hudson is. I've just missed Kate Hudson. Like, Kate Hudson is just like a rom-com goat. Like, she's so funny. Her comedic timing. Like, I'm laughing out loud at the show. I really, really love it. I think Chet Hanks is an insane casting as the point guard on the team. Jay Ellis is so hot. He's the coach. He's definitely a hall pass for me. But just Kate Hudson, I'm like, man, I've really missed her. And I'm just loving her in this role. I'm just finding the show to be such a fun watch. And we wanted to recommend our friend Giulio Gallerati's special. He was on the podcast years ago, and he put out a special. You can watch it on YouTube. It's really so wonderful. I mean, we and other people call him the most interesting man in the world, like truly. Like the way that he has traveled, like he he travels to a lot of places that people like would say like you shouldn't go there, like Afghanistan, you know, like he has these insane travel stories. I love hearing about him and his now wife. I think they were engaged when he shot the special, and they got married in November. We couldn't go to the wedding. We were devastated. We had a show, but I really love it. I mean, he talks about this story about hanging out with the Taliban. Like who's hanging out with the Taliban and lives to tell about it? Like he said this thing. He's like, when you hang out with the Taliban, they want to ask you a lot of questions about the Taliban. So they'll be like, what do you think about the Taliban? He has it on his Instagram. It's so, so funny. And he's just so warm and such like a positive energy. You know, like if you want to watch a comedian that's really been doing it a long time and is, you know, really smooth and polished and also just really warm and funny, obviously, and has stories like you've never heard before, I really highly recommend the special. It's called On the Map. And like I mentioned, you guys can just watch it on YouTube. He shot it at the Den in Chicago, which is where I'm kicking my tour off. So this is the theater that I performed at before. I love it so much. It's an amazing place to shoot a special. I love the room. You've been to it. So I love that too. So I'll be at the Den in a few weeks, starting on April 4th.
So lots of stuff for you guys to watch.
Oh, I also watched Starting Five, which is a sports series that follows LeBron, Jimmy Butler, Anthony Edwards, Domantas Sabonis, and Jason Tatum, like the stars of the NBA.
Oh, I love
through
that.
the 23-24 NBA season.
Where is it on?
On Netflix.
Okay, great.
So it's a good sports show.
You just really been
Yeah, I
on a
love
TV
LeBron.
game recently.
Yeah.
All right. Well, lots of stuff for you guys to watch. All right. And just to wrap up the episode, here's some other headlines for your week, just stuff that you should be in the know about. We're not going to dive into them, but just, you know, we want to be your number one news source. So Olivia Culpo is pregnant with her first child. She got married semi-recently. She's expecting her first baby with Christian McCaffrey.
And your next headline is the cop who arrested Justin Timberlake in the Hamptons for a DUI was just named Officer of the Year. All right.
Great.
Yeah. Good for him.
Anna Kendrick. So the Blake Lively's new movie, I think it's called A Simple Favor.
Another
again.
Simple Favor.
Another Simple Favor. Premiered at South by this week. Actually, her and Blake Lively were on the red carpet together. Anna Kendrick had only 3 words to say about working with Blake Lively. I think a reporter asked, how did it go? And she just said, oh, you know.
Oh, you know.
Anna, what does it mean to be working with Blake again?
Oh, talking about you. Which, was she really responding to that? I mean, whatever. I watched the clip a bunch of times and basically they're like, what's it like working with Blake Lively again? And she goes, oh, you know, and just like keeps it moving.
Keeps it moving. I have one more to throw in,
Okay.
which is Jax Taylor publicly came out as being a cocaine addict. He says he's 100 days sober, and Brittany Cartwright hit back essentially with like too little too late.
Okay.
You've traumatized me and my child all these years. So we wish him well and a great road to recovery, but big story this week.
Okay. And on that note, James Kennedy took a picture with the Tate brothers, said he didn't know about them.
What?
And he has since apologized. Did you see this? What? He's like, Tate brothers. No. I mean, don't get me started. Okay. And lastly, Kylie Jenner and White Lotus star Carrie Coon agree you should be using nipple cream on your lips.
Stay hydrated. Everywhere, stay hydrated.
This makes so much sense. If it's good for your cracked nipples, it's good for your cracked lips.
Absolutely.
I'm going to be doing this. My lips are always so chapped.
Lube it up.
Like whatever women are using on their cracked tits when they're breastfeeding, because I know that happens. I feel for them. Yes, I'm going to be putting that on my lips.
I put bio oil still on my scars too. That's a little tipster for you guys.
And maybe we'll make a nipple cream / lip gloss.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, that's your
headlines.
snack.
All right.
You can find us at girlsgottaeat.com, Girls Gotta Eat Podcast on Instagram and TikTok. I am Ash Hess. Raina is Raina.Greenberg. Vibes Only. Again, we still have that giveaway going on. Vibesonly.com. Vibes Only on Instagram. You can check it out for the giveaway rules and subscribe on YouTube. Share this episode with a friend, and we will see you Monday.
Have a good week, guys.
Bye.